Good evening, everybody. Good evening indeed, and welcome to Simracersworld TV, and welcome to another season of the Simracersworld TCR Series. We're here for the very first race meeting in the championship at Virginia International Raceway, and as I say that, I can hear a tiny little squeal in the background from my co-commentator, Peter MacKay, who joins me again this season. Peter, welcome back to the booth, mate. It's good to be here, isn't it?
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to be back. Happy New Year to everyone here viewing on Simracersworld TV. We had a brilliant winter series over 6 weeks, just on the run up to Christmas there, and now we're on for the full season. A 10-round season, 3 races at each round, so lots of racing to happen, and from what I understand, no Cornton-Guinez as well, so the field is blown wide open.
It really is, and we've got one hell of a circuit ahead of us for tonight, haven't we? Virginia International Raceway, what a phenomenal circuit. Over 5 miles, 17 corners, and sorry, not 5 miles, 5 kilometres, isn't it? But it's one of the most, I don't want to say dangerous, but it's one of those tracks that if you make a mistake, you're really going to pay for it at the next corner, no matter what happens, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, VIR is a properly challenging circuit. It's a circuit with amazing history, built back originally in the 1950s. The Strickland brothers, who were very successful local dairy farmers, and they drove around, and I kid you not, they drove around in their Mercedes 300 SL and threw sandbags out the window where they thought might make a good corner. And that is how this circuit was actually mapped out, was by 2 farmers driving around in their Mercedes throwing sandbags out the window. And the Oak Tree turn, that is a JCB digger on full lock, was how they cleared the ground for that one. But of course, the circuit fell into disrepair in the late 70s and then was reopened again by Connie Nyholm and Harvey Siegel. And you have this wonderful facility, which we see today, which is one of the most sophisticated racing circuits in the world now.
And in terms of the amount of real estate as well, as you can see there, one of the Ignium cars going off. Not the Ignium car, sorry, it's Norbert Leitner in the HM engineering machine. Very quickly disappears. There is so much grass around this circuit. You know, you get tracks where there's barely any runoff before you hit a wall, but look at that view there as they go up the S's. It's a wonderful sight from back here as well. I can imagine it's a very scary one from on board the car, but not only is there a hell of a lot of grass to run off on, it's the fact that it's such an undulating circuit as well. We'll go on board with Danny Fenning, who's having a tough old time, making wonderful noises on the curbs. There is Oak Tree Corner, and you can see how tight it is. But look at the hill ahead of you. It's just, well, I mean, this part of the circuit alone is probably one of the scariest sections in motorsport, is it not?
Yeah, because you're just kind of going off the end of a cliff here. You can see from this camera angle, Danny Fenning, who's just kind of going over the blind crest there, and then you've got this, they call it the carousel. No idea why, you'll see why in a second. You just pile in here hard on the brakes, leaning on the, wasn't left there, was there? And then you're just dropping off again and down the hill towards the hog pen, where there used to be a hog pen full of pigs. As well. This circuit is just full of heritage, full of history. First ever IMSA GT race was here at VIR, won by Peter Craig and Hurley Haywood in a Porsche 914.
Oh, I can't imagine wrestling one of them around here, because I mean
it's a dinky wee thing, the 914.
No, I know, but even still, you know, with all the oscillations and everything that you've got around here, it'd be still quite a scary sight, I reckon. Well, no, not even a scary sight, but a scary venture. Because I mean, we both know how lively these TCR cars can be as well. I mean, 300 brake horsepower, maybe 350, but when they're front wheel drive and the back end's getting away from you around some of these sweeping corners here, we're going to see a lot of drivers getting caught out tonight, and if they just tap the grass the slightest bit, you're going to be way off into the meadow, as one of the Sharebox TC machines goes off there. But we've got most of our class of the Winter Series returning this season, haven't we? We've got a really strong bumper grid.
Yeah, indeed. And Damien Owen Harris, of course, one of the front runners last time out in the Winter Series, was always there in that top 3 with Ram Van Putten and Cornton-Guinez, and he's leading the times right now. But you can see we're in a group qualifying session now. Tell me something, Chaz. We're looking at Damien Owen Harris. Is that Fraser Smith behind Damien Owen Harris? Yes,
It
he's
couldn't
got
have
the
been.
toe hook out. Yeah, and also look at that.
His lights
Mr.
aren't flashing.
Hussein in the dodgy shirtmobile. Is that him behind as well, getting the double toe?
Oh, Naveed's a
Oh, it's
little
not.
bit
No, he's
further
further
ahead.
ahead. No, it's one of his teammates, Paul King.
Oh no, it's Dan Mould. Dan Mould, who I've been racing in the Sunday Drivers MX5 Cup. Dan is a very potent racer.
Chaz?
I'd like to talk about how Dan got on.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. He had an accident, and it was a strange one. Side by side out of Luffield, you know how it goes. Bit of a pinch, 2 cars off. I got the lead and I won. So
you punted him off?
No, I wasn't complaining at all. I was third. I'd got to third at Brooklands, and then we got halfway around Luffield. Him and the race leader came together and both went off in front of me. So
you gave them a way by.
with one of my digits, yeah, not all of them. Mats Borg Anderson is currently doing well when you assess the digits here. Third place on a 158.6. But that's another thing here, isn't it, Peter? It's a long lap at Virginia. It's nearly 2 minutes in these cars, of course. Well, over 2 minutes depending on who's driving, but it's 2 minutes of on the edge driving because, like I said before, you've not got any fancy runoff or anything here, have you? It's just grass.
Yeah, and that's the thing, as you alluded to, Chaz, if you go off and you get onto that grass, the grass is more like an ice rink here on iRacing, so you've got a lot of room. You're pretty unlucky to find yourself in a barrier, so often you can recover, but of course the races are so short here in the SRW TCR. You really don't want to get involved in that sort of caper, but they just come up through the S's, the wonderful S's, left, right, and that was actually built because basically putting a straight line. Whoa, we've got a bit of a car park here. Oh dear, coming around.
Sponsored by Sim Stickers.
Oh dear,
unfortunately.
They've made their mark on the walls already. They've tagged the walls with the Sim stickers. But yeah, the S's section on the way up towards Oak Tree Bend, that was basically because drawing a straight line, a straight bit of tarmac would have cost so much money to move the earth around. So they had it as this. They basically went around the earth, and thus was the S's were born. So it was a bit of Scottish thriftiness there, I think, taking hold.
I like that. It's always good though, because a lot of circuits, I mean, we all know of the Tilkedromes that Formula One visits these days, and yeah, they may not have as much heritage of some of the older circuits. Some of them are fantastic, but you know, they're not as natural or flowing. You look at circuits like Brands Hatch and Virginia as examples. You know, they don't have to just be a straight and then a corner, because look at this bit, it's not even straight. You know, it's got a slight curve to it in places. It goes one way then the other. They're just more entertaining circuits because they have these natural flows. Rather than just design it with a ruler and a protractor, it's better to just get a piece of spaghetti on a table and just go, yeah, that'll do. You know what I mean? I feel that it just makes for more interesting circuits. You know, they're more of a challenge because it's not straight line brake. It's like, I mean, look at that view there, the carousel, and then down here to the hog pen. I absolutely love that. I didn't know about that. But again there, look, little bit of curb. Matthias de Tige upset with the run out of there. Not as upset as the number 46 machine, who was just coming back on there. That was Dean Timms of Eclipse Racing. It says variant TBA. So I'm not sure whether that's meaning he'll have a different team name or something. Very pretty car.
Total eclipse, minor eclipse.
Yeah.
Half eclipse.
Full moon.
Half moon.
Jaffa cakes all day.
Yeah, that's how you remember that.
Wayne Palmer, honestly, in primary school, I used to get sick of people doing it.
Total eclipse.
Wayne Palmer in the Sim Stickers Audi. God, it's good to be back in it. Doing a wonderful job of making a very... Oh, well, he's not making a wonderful job of the hog pen, unfortunately. Now, here's a name that I've looked forward to trying to pronounce since I saw the entry list. And I'm going to go for Anders Lillejorde. Or would it be Lillejorde? Is that his rap name? Little Jorde.
Lillejorde. A very good friend of mine, his girlfriend is Norwegian, so I could find out, Chaz, and hopefully they'll come back to me. That's my homework for the next week.
Yes, I like that. I like that. We'll come back to you on that one, everybody. Scott Malcolm and his teammate Michael Blake are in the middle of the standings at the minute. Scott Malcolm in the number 74 Smile Time Immortal Machine. Michael Blake 21st in the number 118 Smile Time Immortal Racing Team Mad TBC. So they obviously didn't know which team name to go with, but that's what's been given to us. Now, Chris Daines is in the pits for Eclipse Racing. I believe it's him and Dean Timms. They used to race together at... It was... Oh, I can't remember the name of the sim racing team now. They used to be at Year One Racing together, and then they raced at another team. It was something UK, I'm pretty sure. But they've obviously gone to this newer team now with Eclipse. As Chris has got back into sim racing, he did take a sabbatical for a while, so good to see Chris back out on track. I hope he's welded his wing mirrors on. He was known for getting his elbows out back in the day, so he's definitely going to be one to watch. So too is Miguel Freitas, because obviously we don't have Bram Van Putten out there. We don't have Corentin Guinez. But Miguel, he had a lot of bad luck last season, didn't he? But towards the end, he really turned that pace back on that won him that first championship.
Absolutely, and of course now running the 999 on the car there. So who are you going to call? Miguel Freitas. If you're have you been in an accident? Call Miguel Freitas on 999.
And if you want to reverse dial him, call Michael Blake on 118. Well, that looked like it was going in a little bit hot there. Apparently, Bod Boland is never not racing. He's got my old logo on the car, which I'm still a huge fan of, but that car is definitely second hand. But Bod he's always on track, so I'm intrigued to see how he gets on this evening, and of course throughout the rest of the season. Louis Correa also jumping into the championship for Fast Cars Go Bang.
Did you know, Chaz, that they've got 6 different layouts here at VIR? In fact, they can actually run 2 races at the same time.
Oh, flipping heck.
Yeah.
I didn't know they could do 2 at once. I once used what's called the Patriot layout, which is one of the infield layouts, for a road-based rallycross race in the Chaslington Touring Car Championship. We had 4 cars turn up because everybody saw the track and went, nah. Basically, people refused to turn up just because they could not get on with it, and I'm not surprised. I did 3 laps in testing, and I thought, I'm going to put this in the middle of the calendar and just, punish these lot in case they get on the wrong side of me. But yeah, I was the one that got punished with a very poor broadcast and only 4 cars. So it serves me right.
Indeed. Well, there's no problem with that with the full course here. This is the same layout that they used in the IMSA WeatherTech Championship. But when they come here, they just do a GT only round. So it's just the GTLM and the GTD cars, or GTE and GT3 if you prefer in European money. Always very, very entertaining here. I remember Nick Tandy winning quite emphatically in 2019 in the 911 RSR. It was a very, very exciting race. And of course, Chaz, am I excited. IMSA season starts on Saturday. We've got the Roar before the 24, 100-minute qualifying race. And then a week on Saturday, we've got the Rolex 24-hour at Daytona. I am excited. It's
going to be an incredible weekend of racing. Of course, don't forget the iRacing 24 hours of Daytona this coming weekend as well. So plenty to whet the appetite, which is certainly the time of year to get it done. And to be fair, I'm very excited that it is, of course, still going ahead. With everything that's been going on COVID-wise, it's nice to see that it is still happening. Something that's not quite happening yet, though, is Matthew Crisp up the order. He's having a bit of a tough qualifying session at the minute by the look of it. Ashley's had a fall. He's decided to pull over. Lee Bowden is a new name in the series for Ignium Motorsport. Ben Hicks also driving for them as well in the number 359. Jean-Louis Deschamps, by the way, look at this livery. This thing looks absolutely brilliant. I had my eyes on this McDonald's Sim Racing Belgium car earlier. It's got a bit of everything, this car. It's got chrome bits, it's got gold, it's got green, black, white, red. It's just... I'm
loving it on the back.
That's what we want. That's the only reason we wanted this thing, isn't it, really?
Tell you what, he's putting in a McFlurry of hot lap times here.
Oh, it's not going to end, is it? It is not going to end. But still, good-looking car. Hopefully it goes as well as it looks. He's 26th at the moment, but we all know.
Chip it.
No, and that is because we're using heat racing, so the drivers do not get a chance to go and finish their laps. So Fraser Smith takes pole position from Damien Owen Harris with Roman Bokler on row 2. That's another new name, actually. Didn't see him up there. Miguel Freitas 4th, Naveed Hussein 5th, then it's Mats Borg Anderson in 6th, ahead of Dan Mould. Good qualifying for Dan. Norbert Leitner is 8th. Mark Woodhouse and Chris Daines make up row 5. Then it's Paul King and Matthew Crisp on row 6, followed by Matthias de Tige and Bod Boland. We then have Bram Class and Scott Malcolm with Ashley Gaffall and Lee Bowden. Jessica Myers is 19th with Louis Correa in 20th. We then have Anton Dupin with Michael Blake in 22nd. Daniele Giudici in 23rd and Neil Stevenson 24th. Behind them is Ben Hicks and Jean-Louis Deschamps with Anders Lillijordet and Jürgen Knockhart. Then it's Danny Fenning and Niles de Kuiper rounding out your top 30 with Wayne Palmer and Paul Godden on row 16. We then have Dean Timms and Craig Schill with Ryan Walker and PJ Claysons near the back of the grid with just Rob Jackson below them in 37th. So, it's the important time for the drivers to crack on and open their account strongly here, Peter. What do you reckon that we could see in this first race?
Well, it's so hard to call. I mean, Fraser Smith's done the job right, getting it up onto pole position, but I've got my eye on Damien Harris. He's always quick in the touring car, and yeah, he was right there with the lead guys. The only guy really to run with, Guinez and Van Putten last season, so watch for that yellow and black fiercely forward car.
Yeah, I think we may have quite the battle at the front, but the first round of the Simracersworld TCR Series Season 3 is underway. You can hear my spotter telling that it's green, 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 but look at that from Damien Owen Harris. What a start, but look at Roman Bokler. Brilliant stuff. That's the way to make your mark early in the championship. Oh, we've got cars off in the background. Oh, Bod Boland is completely around. We'll have to look forward. Damien Owen Harris has had a hit off Fraser Smith. He's off. Oh, Naveed Hussein, Dan Mould in there as well. 2 Ignium cars together. What else has cracked on? There's one of the Team Mad cars off. Fraser Smith rejoins.
What?
Oh, that was a little bit naughty, wasn't it? In places, Fraser now down the inside of Jessica Myers. Oh, it's all kicking off, Peter. There's cars all over the shop here.
Oh, God, yeah, absolute carnage there. Watch the Norbert Leitner as well, the number 19 car, the Hungarian from Budapest. Very, very quick, and his teammate, well, like you say, Chaz, got that launch perfect. Launching these cars away is really, really tricky because they just want to spin the wheels the whole time, but already we've got a bit of a 2-car breakaway. Mark Woodhouse, good start from him, from in Stud Muffin, to give him his team name. But Bokler and Harris were already making a bit of a breakaway, and maybe Damien Harris, he'll just need to be maybe a little bit careful, maybe just sit behind Roman Bokler for a few laps, see where his pace is, and see if they can break away in the top 2.
It was a very interesting start there. I'm not quite sure what happened to Dan Mould. He was looking very promising early on with how he went in qualifying. Let's have a quick look. So this is where it went green. So there is Dan, and ahead of him is Naveed Hussein. Now, we know that Naveed was getting his elbows out last season, don't we? So maybe worth watching what these guys do. Naveed went into the middle, actually, quite early on. Makes it 3 wide with Freitas and Fraser Smith. There's already contact behind. Let's see. Oh, Fraser just actually gives Naveed a tiny tap, and then Dan Mould's on the inside and gets turned across the front of them. That's such a shame. Horrible to see it, especially in the very first corner of the season. Now, what on earth happened to Bod Boland? I think it was him and Scott Malcolm came together. There's a car going slow in the background, so some of them go off. Bod's just minding his business on the left, and oh, Scott's turned right a little bit. Touched the, is that actually Gaffall in the Ignium car? And then Bod just gets smacked into. Just innocent third party there, wasn't he? Chris Daines is going well, actually, up 4 places. But like you say, Mark Woodhouse up 6 in that first lap to 3rd place. It's all about survival early on, by the look of it.
It is, yeah, and that is classic VIR. That is that you just want to try and keep it on the blacktop if you can here. If you can run a whole race without stepping onto the grass here, you're usually going to be in for a pretty reasonable result. It might sound simple, but Trust me, it is not. As we see it, you don't even have to be the at-fault party, as they say. So, but interesting, that little incident at the just after the first corner there, when Fraser Smith got into a bit of a tangle, he did hit the side of Damien Owen Harris's car. Now, I was going to say, has that given him any damage? Well, if there has, it doesn't appear to be holding him back much, because look, here he goes down towards the carousel in South Bend. A really, really tricky corner, named after the South Bend River that comes by the track here.
We've got a lot of cars going off in the background here. Paul Godden is going for a bit of a ride up towards the top of the hill. Miguel Freitas has actually gone way down the order, it seems. He's actually pitted after that first lap, maybe got a meatball flag straight away. Neil Stevenson went off not too long ago. PJ Clayson's went off as well. Oh, it looked like he might have had a bit of help there, actually. We just caught the back end of it. And it looks like someone caught the back end of his car as well. But lively stuff already. But Damien Owen Harris, he's proving to us why he did so well last season and really getting out there. The other fiercely forward car near the top of the field, Matthew Crisp, he's trying to get the better of Paul King now. But look at that from the Stud Muffin, 58.9, fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, he's on the move, isn't he? Mark Woodhouse really gelling with that car and this particular circuit. VIR is a little bit of an outlier. You do get specialists at this particular circuit. It's a bit of a Marmite circuit. Some love it, some hate it. But Mark Woodhouse really getting into the groove now. And of course, Chaz, now he's more than close enough to be in the draft of Damien Owen Harris and Roman Buchler. He
is, yeah. He just needs to hook into it properly. And we've got plenty of areas here where you can take massive advantage of that slipstream, but it's these tight and twisty bits, isn't it, that can really separate the men from the boys, you could say, when you get into these little sections. Just knowing where to attack, where you can hold back a little bit, where you can push. It's just proper mind games around a track like this, as we've got Jean-Louis Deschamps not giving a damn about mind games, trying it on Michael Blake. You can't get past up there, Sunshine. You're better off just hanging back and following. Love that yellow and green chrome, though. That thing looks amazing. Great looking car as Blake's run a bit wide. Can he make the move around the outside now up to Oak Tree Corner? Blake down the inside. Manages to hold on. It's close further up though, because look at this. Woodhouse is pouncing already, Peter.
Yeah, he has definitely got some pace, and you've got to think that maybe Roman Buchler is struggling to hang on to Damien Owen Harris. He's got the hurry up. He's maybe seen Mark Woodhouse coming and thinking, I need to get a bit of a shift on. Of course, Mark and Damien do race each other in touring cars elsewhere. So they know each other very, very well. Roman Buchler, a little bit more of an unknown quantity, but what is it about Frenchmen in HM Engineering Audis, Chaz, that are so quick at all? Michael Blake's off. Dear me, that's it. Whoa, that's at the Hog Pen. We've got a few cars off. Danny Fenning off as well. But of course, last season we had Corentin Guina as our champion for HM Engineering. We refer to him as the Laurent Aiello of the SRW TCR, and Blake just makes a little mistake there. Maybe Roman Buchler can be Ivan Muller then instead.
I don't want to interview
another fast Frenchman.
don't want to interview him if he is. I was actually watching footage today of to be fair, my favourite commentator of all time, Charlie Cox, when him and it was, Muller was at Snetterton in 1999, absolutely wringing the neck out of his Vauxhall. Had the rear bumper missing, the headlights were caved in, and he'd had every bit of contact he could, and he was still the quickest man on track, like a man possessed. And he had Jean-Christophe Bouillon and Jason Plato in front, and Plato was telling the team over the radio, tell JCB to hold off Muller so it can get away. And Charlie Cox's quote on that was, you've got to be kidding, it's like trying to hold off the Terminator with a water pistol at the moment. And honestly, Muller's driving that day was phenomenal, but unfortunately the big accident and getting punted off didn't really help him. So hopefully we'll see the same pace from Roman Buchler, but hopefully not the same arrogance that you used to get from Ivan Muller. Fraser Smith down the inside of Matthias de Tige. Great move there, and look at this now, Paul King trying to take advantage of as well. Bird's eye view, well, front row seat you could say, of de Tige against King. Who's going to win this one? You've got to think King here. He's going to have the inside line for the second part of the carousel, isn't he?
Whoa, it's very, very close. Yeah, because it goes left and then right. And yep, you're absolutely right. Paul King just cuts off the nose of Matthias de Tige and claims the position. But Fraser Smith, kind of obviously our pole sitter, he's now got basically, you've got. But the good thing about this format is that if there is problems early, you can. You've got the whole night to kind of recover from it as well. But it's a little bit of a journey right up the field for Fraser. If you can get a clean race 2, and then hopefully catch a good spot for the reverse grid in race 3, and try and get out with some points, because that was not the ideal start to his championship campaign. And you've got to think, Chaz, that he's definitely got the pace to battle with Harris and Woodhouse and Vogler.
Oh yeah, for sure. We know from last season how quick Fraser can be. He just needs to fly under the radar a little bit in comparison to last season. He was always on screen because he was always exciting, but he was always then involved in incidents, unfortunately. So if he keeps his head on, he'll do well. He just made mincemeat there of Chris Danes after Chris made that slight mistake. Took the advantage straight away, but back at the front, it's still close, you know, between Damien Owen-Harris and Romain Beauclerc. Romain is not disappearing, but it's like they've said, right, Guinez out, Beauclerc in, direct replacement. He's rapid.
Absolutely, he's right there, and he's once he's got a bit of a resurgence here. We thought he was getting dropped. Absolutely none of it. He's right on the back of the fiercely forward yellow and black Bumblebee spec fiercely forward machine of Damien Owen-Harris. We also have the Cherry Cola spec, there we go, of Jessica Myers with the Corgi on the back. We've got the Corgi back this year. We do like the Corgi mobile. There he goes with the I love that, with the toe hook with the tongue sticking out. Brilliant.
It is top banter for a sim racing livery. Also a very good looking car besides that as well, to be fair, from Fiercely Forward. Now what's happening here with Chris Danes? I've got timing coming up red because he's got cars very, very close to him, and that is Paul King right behind in the other pretty car, the terrible shirt car as Peter calls it, the Ignium Racing Machine. In 9th, he's got Matthias Tige giving him plenty of attention in 10th, but we've just hit the halfway point here. 10 minutes gone just like that, mate.
Just like that, yeah. It's Fast and Furious racing in the Simracersworld TCR Series. Of course, all completely identical cars, the Audi RS3 LMS TCR.
We've had an issue there, I think. Who is that? Oh, Dan Mould and Michael Blake have both gone off, and PJ Clayson's. There's been a big mess here, very big mess indeed. So what's gone on? So Dan is Dan. I've seen Dan race aggressively before, and yeah, there's no need to go for the move when he did. In all honesty, if we look at Dan goes for it there, there's no point. He has to get out of it. PJ goes to the right. Dan's getting back on the racing line. In all fairness, it's not Dan's fault, but it's a massive accident. But unfortunately, it just didn't need to happen in the first place. You know, the cars didn't need to be where they were, did they?
No, through the S's there, it is kind of all one line. So you just sort of have to accept that it is like that, and sort of line your move up here, perhaps for Oak Tree, or even again line it. You're thinking almost half a lap ahead to line it up down the straight. It's one of the challenges of VIR. You've got to be pretty patient. As you see, Damien Owen-Harris just changing his line slightly on the straight. Now what he's doing here is he's trying to minimise the aerodynamic wake that's coming out the back of his car that is helping, or the hole that it's punching in the air for Romain Beauclerc. So you saw Romain Beauclerc gather quite a bit of room there on the straight, and that is simply the slipstream effect. So that's what Damien was trying to do, to try and weave about to try and break it. It's a common tactic in this form of racing, but you don't want to overdo it though. You don't want to be getting so erratic that you're causing incidents and what have you. But and actually, there's a point where the more you weave, the less obviously forward motion you have as well.
Yeah, that's it. You do see people try and break it sometimes, but with an aggressive move to one side of the circuit. So, if anything, you're just slowing yourself down and giving them that advantage anyway. Norbert Leitner's done the fastest lap of the race. He's sat in 4th at the moment, right behind Mark Woodhouse, a 1:58.170. But it's still very close up here at the front. We've got Paul King and Detige battling away as well. And this is one of the things. I mean, to drive, VIR is far from my favourite circuit. It's very, very difficult. But in terms of the racing that it puts on, it's just always been an entertaining track to watch. The camera's maybe 8,000 miles away because of how much grass there is on this circuit, but it's such a joyous circuit to watch. And these cars, they're like wild animals in their element around here, aren't they?
Absolutely, you've got room to roam here. I mean, these touring cars, you're really stretching them out. You're right to the very top of Top Gear, but you're also putting them into positions where they're maybe not necessarily used to. Of course, coming through here through the S's, it's super fast. And then there's a left-hander here, blind off camber, and these Audis, they're just going, oh, don't like this at all. It's a proper challenge as they come around Oak Tree Corner. Now, that oak tree is not there anymore. It got blown down in a storm, but because this is a slightly older scan of the track, we still have the oak tree, which is pretty cool indeed as well.
Yeah, it's the wonders of sim racing. We get to race on tracks in their configurations or with details that are no longer there, like the old scary tree at Snetterton. I was commentating on an event at Myrtle Beach just the other night, which of course has been closed down for good now. Matthew Crisp tried to give as much room as he could to Fraser Smith there, and unfortunately tapped the grass, lost the back end, and around it goes. Fraser Smith won't mind too much. A little bit of a hit on the front means he's got no headlights anymore, praise the Lord, but it also means that he's up into 5th place, so a decent recovery, to be fair, by Fraser. Matthew's still off the circuit. Something like something out of The Sound of Music. There's another quote for you from Charlie Cox. Now, Norbert Leitner has gone up into 3rd. Mark Woodhouse says not on your life. Back down the inside. No, nothing doing there. But these HM Engineering boys, they're certainly a team to watch, aren't they? I've followed them on Facebook, and they do some wonderful different sim racing championships all over the place on different sims. And they even do a Formula 1 1998 season with full race length as well, which seems amazing. But they've just got something in every single car they race in, by the look of it.
Absolutely, yeah. We've seen them do well in all kinds of categories, and they really are a force to be reckoned with in the sim racing world. And well, certainly look at this. This is getting really cozy now between Damien Owen Harris and Roman Buchler. And well, if Roman Buchler is Ivan Muller, does that make Damien Owen Harris Jason Plato? I suppose it does right now.
Not sure if he'd appreciate that or not.
He might do.
You never know. But still, we do have a fantastic battle. Let's see what goes on here then with Roman. Is he just going to hang to his right-hand side, stay on the racing line? No, he's actually going over to the left a little bit here with Damien. He's sort of half and half, isn't he? He's making sure he's not weaving too much, but look at the amount of overrun you get in these TCR cars. They certainly do get some poke on. Oh, that looked like deja vu to me there from the fiercely forward car. Great stuff from Damien to get that stopped in the nick of time and hold on to the lead, but this is great pressure from the debutant, Roman Buchler. And I'm intrigued to see what he does here. Oh, it looks like Damien runs wide on the curb. You made the noise I wanted to there, at that point, Peter, but this looks like Roman's going to do it.
Well, let's see, going up to turn 1, it's hard to go all the way around the outside here. It was brilliant defence into South Bend by Damien Owen Harris, but Buchler's right up beside him. They go side by side. Who's going to be earliest on the brakes? Damien Owen Harris has the inside line, and he's just gone that little bit late. But then, I tell you what though, Chaz, that's smart because we've got 2 left-handers coming up, and Damien Owen Harris will have the inside. So that was a brilliant piece of racecraft there from Damien Owen Harris, and he keeps the move sealed up. And of course, once you get into this part of the circuit, it's pretty much one line. But they're bickering. Look what's happened. Norbert Leitner and Mark Woodhouse back on the scene. 3.5 minutes to go. It's game on.
Is indeed. This is just wonderful racing once again. Exactly what we expected when we got told there was going to be another series of the Simracersworld TCR Series. And this first race is just giving you an insight as to what this whole series is going to be about. 29 rounds of the championship. Yep, I can do 3 times 10, but there's 29 rounds of the championship. Oh, as Woodhouse has run a little bit wide behind. We've got 2 races at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. 2 30-minute races on the Gesamtstrecke layout, which is basically the Nordschleife and a little bit of the Grand Prix circuit. Now look at this from Paul King. He's in the sandwich at the moment. Chris Danes ahead, De Tige behind. Then Bram Klaas as well, who's gained 5 places. Biggest movers in the field so far, Wayne Palmer, 12 places gained. Anders Lely-Jorda has gained 11. So too has Jean-Louis Deschamps just up the road. So some fantastic drives through the field from these guys. Like I said before, Peter, it's probably a bit of survival early on that helps that, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. Keeping the car, keeping the, as they say in NASCAR, keeping the sheet metal straight and keeping off the grass here at VIR is very, very important. But that's where the qualifying comes in. If you're down in the in the midst of the pack, obviously the risk factor goes up many times over. So getting that quick lap in qualifying is really important. And as we're seeing here, you mentioned the draft at the end of the straight. You know, it's multiple tenths, so you can make a difference if you're in the draft. So during the qualifying, you've got to be very strategic as well, with it being a group qualifying session. This battle has been going on all race long between Paul King and Matthias It's brilliant stuff from these guys.
It has been phenomenal to watch. Now here's two cars that had quite the memorable incident last season. Scott Malcolm and Jessica Myers having a great battle again. The fiercely forward car just holding off the Smile Time Simultan machine at the moment. Lee Bowden just waiting in the wings in the background. You can hear the noises these cars make when they hit the curb. It's horrible. It's just like scraping metal on the giant curbs here.
It's nails on a chalkboard.
Oh, it really is. I heard it earlier and I thought, oh, flipping heck, someone's had a big one. And it was just the car going over the curb, but they're bottoming out as they scrape along it. So just shows you how low they're running these things. Back at the front, Roman Boakler has got it done. Let's have a look. Look at the overrun there. Massive, massive overspeed. Again, though. Oh, look at that. Hangs it around the outside. Oh, take a bow, sunshine. Wow. That was beautiful. And here we are again, but roles reversed. Oh, no.
Oh, they get together. Oh, Harris is spun. Oh, my goodness me. Well, it's such a bottleneck there going into South Bend and into the carousel, and neither was about to yield. Do you know, that reminded me very much of Matt Neal and Jason Plato at Snetterton many years ago, just both leaning into the corner going, no, you flinched, no, you flinched. Okay, we'll both crash. Oh, dearie me.
I don't think Roman left as much room as Damien did the lap before, unfortunately. That's a real shame, but that is the end of the race as well, last lap, so Damien had to go for it. It's literally just ticked over. Roman Boakler wins his first race in the championship. Fantastic debut, but of course, a little bit marred by that incident at the end. His teammate Norbert Leitner second. Mark Woodhouse gets a podium. What a great race to start the championship, though. Naveed Hussain chucks it at the scenery once he's crossed the line. Oh, that was...
engineering.
Yeah, what a way to start another campaign, eh? Beautiful stuff. Really beautiful stuff. But they're still racing. They're still crossing the line in the background as well. Here's Michael Blake partway around the lap. Matthew Crisp just coming to the end as well. Real shame that for the Fiercely Forward boys, because they had such a great start, but in all honesty, you know, they were just racing closely, weren't they? And like you said, Peter, it is a bottleneck. You are going to get contact up there. It was just such a shame that tiniest little tap on the right corner by Roman was enough to just straighten up the car, and then it just tipped it across.
It would be interesting to see an onboard from Roman Boakler's car, because once he got into a little bit of a moment there to Damien Owen Harris, yeah, this will tell us a lot to see what his brake and throttle inputs are. So Damien Harris is having to hang it around the outside, and
it's going to kick. I think it's going to kick us into the next session any moment, but we'll keep having a quick look.
Chaz, but it's probably a good reminder that we should probably take our amateur steward's hat off and let Bart Daleman worry about that one.
Yeah, I probably should. Otherwise, I'm going to get moaned at. But yeah, it's. And, I mean,
put it this way, Damien Owen Harris is not going to be a happy boy after that one.
No, definitely not. And understandably, you know, I don't know anyone that would be happy with that. I must admit, though, Quarantine in the chat, I do disagree, saying that it was Damien that closed the door. He was on the inside of the corner. But that's the only thing I'm going to disagree with at the minute. But race 2 is upon us. Roman Boakler on pole position alongside Norbert Leitner. Mark Woodhouse and Damien Owen Harris make up row 2. Then it is Fraser Smith and Mats Borg Anderson. Chris Daines is 7th with Matthias Destige 8th, Paul King 9th and Brown Platt 10th. We will filter through the rest of your grid there. Interesting, though, to see some of these drivers a little bit further down that are recovering, Peter. Anyone you've got your eye on?
Well, let's see. I mean, Matthew Crisp had a little bit of an off there for fiercely forward early on. Bod Boland, not the ideal start to the season for him. He'll start right from the back, but watch him to come through. But it's going to be hard. I'm going to imagine that Damien Harris will be up for this one.
Yeah, fired up for the second race. No time to go and think about it. Just the time to do. Round 2 of the Simracersworld TCR Series gets underway. And it looks like a nice start from Mark Woodhouse. Not a perfect getaway from Roman Beauclerc. He's actually over to the right there. I'm not sure if he's done something wrong. Maybe giving the position back to Damien, maybe?
No, I just think this didn't get the car off the line. These are really difficult to launch, these cars. Whoa, car park. Oh, yeah. Dear, we've got one of the... I think that might be Matthias de Tige.
Yeah, it
was. There's a few guys off.
Oh Scott Malcolm. Anders Lily Jordet's off as well. Oh, there's more contact in front. One of the Ignium cars really going for it. Who was that? It was Dan Mould. I think, no, it wasn't. Apologies. It was a teammate a little bit further up. Ashley Gaffal trying to push through. And that's Jürgen Knockout just in front of him, I believe. There's even more contact. But at the front, Norbert Leitner leading the way from Mark Woodhouse, Damien Owen Harris. I do truly believe, I'd like to believe it's true as well, that Roman backed off from the start. He didn't get a great launch, yes, but he lost so much speed after that. I'd like to think that he did let Damien back through there, and if he has, then that's really nice of him, to be fair, because it'll mean that if they do finish at a similar sort of distance apart in terms of positions in this race, then it'll equal out the championship points again, which is really good of him. But we've got battles all over the shop here. Once again, Matthew Crisp making his way through the order. Just behind, that's Anton Dupin and Wayne Palmer. There's a little bit of shenanigans in the midfield as well there. So they'll say in the midfield. The whole thing is the midfield. That's Dean Timms in the number 46, I think. It is in the Eclipse machine. Pushing Jürgen Knockout down the back straight. Wow, this championship's lively, isn't it? Oh no, Ryan Walker's going to cause issues here. Through he goes. 3 wide. Is he going to have the pair of them, though? Ryan Walker. Fair play, mate. Bigger man fruits than me to do that. Dean Timms has gone a little bit hot. Bit of contact behind. Oh, there's a car off sideways. That's Wayne Palmer. He's managed not to go in. Ryan Walker's had a hit. Oh, and another one. And another one. And that was, I believe, Rob Jackson in the Simtech machine. Where did all that start, boys? That was a real mess.
Well, let's try and dissect it then as well. Wayne Palmer coming along in the SimSticker 77 car up to South Bend, and it's a bizarre one. It's like he got on the grass on the inside, or sorry, on the outside, and then just sort of straight lined across. That's a bizarre incident.
Yeah, it's an interesting one from further back as well. I think Ryan Walker might have just closed the door a little bit on the apex with. Looks like PJ Clayson's coming through in the white and red car. Look at that, very late by PJ. Nice stuff around the outside. Yeah, it's a tiny bit of netcode though, and then Ryan just gets a hit off the SimStickers car, then Rob Jackson, and then whoever that last car is as well. I think that's, is that Michael Blake giving him a hit? That was a very, very big incident once again. But at the front, it's still lively between these lot. Damien Owen Harris now third. Fraser Smith behind, he's fired up as well. Mark Woodhouse in second place.
Yep, he's up into the podium spots once more. Is Mark Woodhouse, but he's got Damien Owen Harris right on his case, and Norbert Leitner for HM Engineering leading the way, but and also, of course, our pole sitter from qualifying, Fraser Smith, in there as well in fourth, with Roman Beauclerc behind him. So I get the feeling we're getting a bit of an impression of who our season-long championship protagonists are going to be. Whoa, Fraser Smith very late on the brakes there. Fantastic.
Yeah, Mark Woodhouse played it nice and safe. You know, he got out of Damien's way, made sure it wasn't too wide into there. Damien then got it back single file. But yeah, Fraser was late in comparison to Mark, wasn't he? And now look at it. He's having a go. Ben Hicks is off. Very, very much off. Oh, hello. I just caught the back end of that. PJ Clayson's is doing the same. That's like, it's on snow there. He's not going to stop that. Gives the wall a little kiss. I don't know how Ben Hicks feels after that. He's gone behind everything else. That was a very, very odd little moment there. I've never seen it do that before. But at the front of the pack, look at this. Damien Owen Harris is going to be sick of trying to get past HM Engineering cars after that first race battle, but he's side by side with one of them once again. This time, the Hungarian Norbert Leitner.
Oh, we're getting some bunch racing now. This is what we're talking about. This is what touring cars is all about. Norbert Leitner And Damien Owen Harris having a bit of argy-bargy there. Norbert Leitner getting very, very touchy-feely and actually has killed his own momentum, and that's allowed Damien Harris to get away at the front a bit.
Has indeed, but now he's got to worry about the guys behind. He's got Mark Woodhouse in there as well. Fraser Smith even further back. We've got Jean-Louis Deschamps just behind Anton Dupin. Miguel Freitas in the middle. Ashley Gaffol and Michael Blake. Dan Mould in there as well. Another brilliant train in the middle of the field. We've got so many of them, but the one at the front is, of course, the sharp end at this moment in time. Damien Owen Harris will be very happy to be back up front. Chris Danes on the back of this as well. Now he's going to have a fantastic view of all this as it bunches up round Oak Tree Corner. Back down the back straight now. We'll see here just what the slipstream is like, because Chris didn't quite get as good a run as Roman Beauclerc. But you'll see eventually it just starts equaling out the pace, even from back there as well. You know, you still get the slipstream up to about a second behind the car in front. And they are nearly topping out here, like you said. Look at that on the brakes. Slowing down from nearly 230 k's to less than 100 at the apex. And then back on the power again for the downhill, and none of them swapping any places. I don't know how.
Oh, they're all sort of just going a wee bit Noah's Ark style here. Well, 1 by 1, not 2 by 2. The loners at the back of the queue in Noah's Ark, shall we say. All in a nice orderly fashion there. It's amazing. What still fascinates me about these cars, they require quite a bit of getting used to, because you always seem to be in one gear higher than you think you should be. You know, you think, how can I get away with fourth gear here? But it's just the way the gearing works on the cars. And you see, if you can often find yourself in too low a gear and the car's going, oh, stop it. And you've just got to try and get used to that and just acclimatise to it. Once you get used to it, it's fine. But yeah, it's a bit odd at first.
Yeah, it's a car that requires so much patience, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of cars out there you can just wring the neck of them constantly, but these things you need to have your wits about you all the time. As wow, Jean-Louis Deschamps having a real wiggle around there, cuts the nose off Dan Mould and then tries to get back on the power again, but still at the front, Damien Owen Harris. We've got traffic now. That's Scott Malcolm, who's had an incident somewhere and now come back on. Well, Damien just controlling the pace here, and like you said, Peter, these guys at the minute maybe just being a little bit tentative, just running the race how they want to, not pushing too hard and just thinking, right, let's all just try and break away a little bit here, bit by bit. Let's just open up that gap. And now Scott Malcolm doing the good thing and getting out of the way while these guys can get past easily down the straight. Naveed Hussein is close to Bram Class. This is for 8th and 9th position. Nearly 8 minutes into this race already. That's flown by as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has. Yeah, it's fast and furious here at VIRs. Naveed Hussein hangs it around the... Oh, that was always risky. Always risky. He was really hot in there. I don't know if he would have got it slowed down anyway, but full attack here from Naveed Hussein in the 007 machine. Well, just gets a bit of a hop over the curb, and I don't think he was stopping that anyway, Chaz. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he was going a little bit hot. Bram's off at the last corner, I think that is. But yeah, I don't think he was going to get that stop. Like you say, he just ran wide a little bit off that curb, and that's what put him into the path of Bram. Bram had to turn in at some point. Unfortunately, contact up there again. But like you say, it's a risky place to go for the move. It's at the end of a very, very fast straight into pretty much a hairpin that goes over the crest of a hill. After a kink to the left, it's then a hairpin downhill to the right over a crest. It's just a horrible combination. Even when you read it out loud, it's just a horrible combination. But either way, still entertaining stuff. Damien across the grass a little bit there, which he won't be a fan of. But behind, he's got Norbert Leitner. And then behind Norbert is Mark Woodhouse, looking for his second podium of the night. Look at the slipstream even up here. Norbert Leitner, the Hungarian, of course, won in the final race meeting of the season last time out at Donington Park. So we know that Norbert has a race-winning potential. I mean, his pace alone will tell you that. Let's see what sort of run they get out of here. Damien gets a very good run indeed, but that Audi is going to get very, very close to the back of us anytime soon, isn't it, Peter?
Yep, this is the full M6 motorway outside lane experience here in full 3D. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it looks. Yeah. Oh, get the full Audi, the full Audi following distance there. Fantastic stuff. Well, Carroll Shelby, the great Carroll Shelby, he said that 1 lap around VIR was like 100 laps around Watkins Glen. That's how challenging he found it here. But it didn't stop him winning the first race meeting here in a Maserati 4500S.
Like a good Maserati.
450S, apologies. I got excited and added a 0.
Well, interesting as well about Carroll Shelby. One of his own AC Cobras actually sold for over $5 million the other day, didn't it? Which, it was an X one that he owned, and there was only, I think, like 5 of them made in this certain metallic green flecky colour. And it was a stunning machine, but it sold for over $5 million the other day. It's just amazing.
I'll tell you what's coming up for sale next week on auction on collectingcars.com. An Eleanor 1967 tribute car.
Oof.
Oh, I had to have a lie down when I saw it earlier.
I was going to say, I imagine that got the heartbeat racing a little bit. Hello, that will. Miguel Freitas decides, I'll stuff it, boys. Play the Eurobeat. Watch this. Launches it in. And now, in his shock behind, it seems like Neil Stephenson's thought, nah, I'm not going near him, Anton. You do it, mate. Dan Mould gives him a bit of encouragement from behind. And then he's got his teammate Ashley Caffall in there as well. Anton Dupin all over the grass and the mud and the dirt. But this is just epic racing again. Like I said before, this circuit, it just throws brilliant racing in your face all the way up the field. Look at this. That is how close Fraser Smith is coming out of the corner. That's before the slipstream, but of course he's not going to get much of an overspeed here, is he, with him starting off that close?
No, it doesn't look like it. No, he's just sort of glued to the bumper, but that's it's a good way to put pressure on your rival in front, and goodness me, you can see the holes in the radiator there. Goodness. But Mark Woodhouse, well, the stud muffin, he says, you can pressure me all you want. I will hold firm, but while that's all going on...
Well, you can pressure me all you want as long as you, as long as you don't pile me off the circuit, Fraser. I'd have to look back at that one, which we will, obviously.
Amateur steward Chaz, yep. Careful.
No, I don't know.
Oh, well, that's pretty cut and shot.
Fraser's alongside-ish, but, you know, his right wheels were on the white line. Mark will be fuming, but in my opinion, that's down to whether your spotter says anything or not. But now it means that the top... Did I just see Roman Buckler giving Fraser a taste of his own medicine there, flashing the lights? Although, actually, Bart did say something in the rules about Rip Fraser Flasher, or Flasher Smith, or whatever he called it.
Flasher Smith, yes. They apparently any use of headlight flashing is illegal for this season of the SRW TCR. So yes, there will be no. Again, I have to say I'm a bit sad because to get the full Audi on the motorway experience, which touring car racing is probably a little bit safer than, you know, the headlight flashing is a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. And they've got to have the earpiece in as well, the Bluetooth earpiece.
Oh yeah.
And a badly done tie and not ironed
short sleeve shirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Short sleeve, unironed shirt.
In the top pocket.
Yeah. Like the cheapest biro you can find that's got a lid that's half chewed and everything.
It's burst and there's just an ink mark.
Yes, I love it. Oh right, Dan Mould's loving that. Then he goes past.
He's got 6 different phone holders all over the die.
All of them are drooped down as well. We could go on and on, couldn't we? Absolutely love it. So, there's your stereotype, everybody. If you own an Audi, that's what we think you look like. Fraser Smith in his 3rd place. He's going to be very happy to be on the podium at the moment. Roman Buckler just behind him, though, wants to change that. Oh, God. But at the front, Damien Owen Harris leading the way. You'd just think it'd only been a week since we last did this, eh, boys? Jean-Louis Deschamps in the background of Matthias Tetige's rearview mirror. An optional extra on the Audi RS3, apparently. But Matthias is trying to come back through the field after a difficult first race. Right, let's go on board with Damien Owen Harris then, see what Norbert Leitner is all about when he's chasing him on this infield section, because as we were saying before, Peter, this is the difficult bit when you're trying to stay close to the car in front, because a lot of the time here with these bulky Audis, you can't see the apexes if you're chasing someone.
Yeah, this is where you've really got to kind of trust the driver in front, and you've got to kind of trust their pace. And you know, that's where sometimes you'll see drivers just sit behind another car just to try and get a little bit of a study, make a few notes on where they're fast, where they're slow, because the last thing you want is to get kind of caught out with a driver doing the kind of something unexpected, and then you end up in a pile-up. But to be competitive in touring car racing, you kind of have to be comfortable with being just millimetres from the back bumper of the car in front.
Yeah, and it's all about adapting your braking points as well. You know, you've just got to play it safe, brake that little bit earlier if you are right behind the car in front, and just pray to whoever you believe in that the car behind you does the same, because I've always seen it where there'll be a driver racing very, very well, very street smart racing, and then the car behind will be the one that messes it up by not braking. Now this is Paul King. He's gained 3 places so far to get up into 6th place. Dan Mould, by the way, has gained 22 places to get up to 12th. He's just had a bit of an exchange with Jessica Myers by the look of it.
Did he just hit the corgi? Get him off. Red flag.
To be fair, he's letting her get back on the circuit to...
You don't hit the corgi, though.
No, you don't. Squeezing the Flemish car there, Anton Dupin. That's a good run up the straight as well, actually. But yeah, Dan Mould had gained 22 places there. Miguel Freitas has gained 20. I want to see how this sorts itself out at the end of the straight. Nice and tidy from them there into the carousel. But yeah, Miguel Freitas just ahead of this. Into the top 10, 20 places gained. Matthew Crisp, 18 places gained. So mega drive by all of them. Not Sega mega drive, but just a mega drive. Fraser Smith third, and is just on the fastest lap of the race. We've got fantastic performances all over the place here. Michael Blake, unfortunately, has had an issue in his Audi. It looks very second-hand already. Has he got in a little bit hot? Oh, heck.
Oh God. Oh.
Who is the Ignium car there? That was the 85, I think. Was that Neil Stevenson and Ashley Gaffall that had gone off? This is Neil Stevenson. Is that Ashley Gaffall behind him or in front? I think it's... Ah, there's Ashley. Oh, Dan Mould, actually there. That was the incident that Dan Mould had with Jessica Myers. So Ashley's there. For some reason, Neil goes forward, and then you're going to see it. Well, you're going to hear it. Bang into the back goes Michael Blake, unfortunately. But that's the thing, you know, it's a very narrow circuit, isn't it? You've not really got anywhere to go, no matter what happens around here.
Certainly not at that point, no. Oak Tree Turn is not the place you want to find. And the thing is, it's such a difficult entry. You're kind of braking and turning at the same time into that double right-hander, and you often do find a car broadside across the circuit on the apex, because it is a corner that's such a hot spot for mistakes. So yeah, it is a danger spot. But this leading group, this is fantastic to watch. It's like watching a Red Arrows demonstration. These guys running so close together at such good speed, and Harris, Leitner, Smith and Bockler all just glued together. And the thing is, coming in to be 2 to go when they go over the line, it's impossible. Could be any of these 4 cars right now, Chaz.
It really could. Any of them could just get a good bit of slipstream, just go to the right side of the circuit. That's going to open up the gap and help them take advantage. You can see Fraser there had the run, but then got out of it just to stay behind Norbert Leitner that bit more. What can Roman do around the outside? Nothing doing there at this point. Fraser holding on well. Fantastic stuff again from these guys at the top. Chris Daines is 6.5 seconds off the back of this, but great stuff again by Chris Daines. Look at the oversteer there. Just on the brakes, Roman's car sideways, but manages to just hold it so beautifully. Again, over the curbs. One way, then the other. The change of direction is fantastic. You can see they don't care about the tyres, because look at the amount of lock that Roman's putting on. He's overheating them things to the max round here, but that's what you've got to do to stay with him, haven't you?
Absolutely, and here at VIR, you almost kind of drive certain sections of it like a tarmac rally stage, because, you know, most circuits you wouldn't put, you know, half your car over the curb constantly. But here you can. It's just the way that the track limits work and the way the curb works. You can really sort of hook a wheel the other side of the curb, and it kind of acts as a bit of a kind of sort of a rail track, if you like. And it does remind me of driving a tarmac rally stage. And of course, the Audis, pretty good heritage in that form of racing. But look at this! Yeah. Look at it swooping back and forward, all in just one big snake. It's like one of those luggage carts at the airport.
very much is. Now Fraser Smith has got to try and defend here. He's, a bit of contact in a straight line there. That won't go down well. Now Fraser's trying to hang it onto the inside. Oh, Roman's gone in hot. It doesn't clip the gravel somehow, but unfortunately that's not paid off for him and he's lost a bit of time. Now Damien Owen Harris is going to have one more lap to go after this, I believe. We're 10 seconds from the end though. Will this actually count and be the final lap of the race? It's going to be intriguing. It will be. Damien Owen Harris is going to do it. Norbert Leitner is going to take second. Fraser Smith third. Roman Bokler fourth. Take a bow, boys. That was a beautiful performance. Beautiful demonstration. Chris Danes, there you go. That's a disqualification over the line. Fifth place for Chris Danes. Paul King, sixth. Mats Borg Anderson under the radar in seventh. Lee Bowden, great finish in eighth in his first race meeting of the season. And Miguel Freitas, 21 places gained to get ninth. 17 places for Matthew Crisp. And Dan Mould, 23 positions gained to get 11th. We had some fantastic drives through the field in that one, didn't we, Peter?
Oh, we did indeed. Yeah, that was just superb stuff. And of course, going into race 3 now, we're going to have a partly reversed grid as well, which is always throws up excitement. Very similar to the format we see in the British Touring Car Championship. So we're going to, all the guys who have run at the front so far today, they're going to have to sing for their supper in this last round and make their way through the pack.
They are indeed. A lot of hard work coming their way. But what a fantastic 2 races we've had so far. We will just, of course, recap the results in a moment when everybody's finished. Oh, Dean Timms. Oh, heck, mate. He's finally knocked the wing mirror off it. Maybe just went a little bit hot into there, but he's still got to finish the race yet. Jürgen Knockout behind him is for position. Jürgen goes through. Dean does a bit of rallycross. Wayne Palmer's 10 seconds behind him, so he's all right for now. But he's just trying to wrestle what's left of that Eclipse Racing machine over the line. There's Wayne Palmer. There he is in the number 77 Sim Stickers machine. Neil Stevenson next up. Bit of rallycross from Neil there in the 16. And then behind him is Danny Fenning, who I believe has already crossed the line. He has indeed. So Neil Stevenson will be the last one across the line. And that rounds up round 2 of the championship. Lively racing once again. But we now have a warm-up session. And we'll go over the first 2 race results. Peter, if you'll take it away with the first one for us. We'll let everybody know how the evening has panned out so far, if I get to the right thing. Thank you,
With
Irish.
pleasure. So the opening round of the season here in the Simracersworld TCR Series from the beautiful Virginia International Raceway. Roman Bokler, newcomer to the series, takes his 22 HM Engineering machine to the win with teammate Norbert Leitner in second and Mark Woodhouse in third. Damien Owen Harris really unlucky to miss out on the win, just a little incident at the end there, but did recover to finish fourth. Fraser Smith recovered to fifth after an earlier incident. Mats Borg Anderson was sixth, followed by Chris Danes, Matthias de Tige, Paul King and Bram Clays. In 11th was Naveed Hussain, followed by Jessica Myers in the Corgi Mobile. Scott Malcolm was 13th, followed by Lee Bowden, Jean-Louis Deschamps, Anders Lilliorde, Danielle Gudici, and Neil Stevenson was 18th. 19th was Wayne Palmer, followed by Ben Hicks, Jürgen Neukert, Ashley Gaffal, Anton Dupin, Niels de Kuyper, Dean Timms, Paul Godden, Matthew Crisp, and Craig Schill. And we have a few more to come. In 29th was Michael Blake, followed by Miguel Freitas, Ryan Walker, Louis Correa, Danny Fenning, Dan Mould, PJ Claysons, Bob Boland, and Rob Jackson, rounding out our 37 runners.
And then we'll go over the results of the second race of the evening, which of course we just saw there. Damien Owen Harris winning that one from Norbert Leitner. 2 second places in a row for Norbert. Fraser Smith, great recovery drive for third. Roman Bokler finishes fourth with Chris Danes fifth. Paul King is in sixth with Mats Borg Anderson behind him in seventh. Lee Bowden gets a good result on his first appearance in eighth with Miguel Freitas ninth in the 999 machine. Matthew Crisp ends up 10th with Dan Mould in 11th. Jessica Myers 12th with Matthias de Tige in 13th. Anders Lilligjorda is 14th with Bram Class in 15th ahead of Ben Hicks, Louis Correa and Niels de Kuyper, with Craig Schill up to 19th place. Michael Blake 20th. Ashley Gaffal just behind him with Anton Dupin and Daniele Giudici. Then we have Paul Godden and PJ Claysons with Jean-Louis Deschamps, first car outside the top 25. Following him was Naveed Hussein and Bod Boland, with Mark Woodhouse down in 29th, Jürgen Knockaert 30th, Dean Timms 31st, with Wayne Palmer and Neil Stevenson, the last cars on the lead lap. Danny Fenning was 1 lap down, Scott Malcolm was 5 laps down, 9 laps down was Rob Jackson, and Ryan Walker 10 laps down after the incident near the start. But a pair of amazing races to begin our evening with. We do have the warm-up session just going on at the moment, so we'll give you guys at least something to look at, hopefully. Here we go. I'm trying to get it to look at cars that are actually on circuit for you, but unfortunately not at the moment. But what's going to happen now is Peter and I are just going to take a very, very quick break, and we will be back with you in a few minutes. Thank you very much for your patience there, everybody. Don't forget, it's always good to take a quick break from your screen now and then. Do make sure you stay hydrated as well. I know a lot of people have been very enticed to stay with their screens over lockdown, and yeah, it can cause health issues, so do be careful. But either way, we're here at Virginia for the wonderful Simracersworld TCR Series. My name is Chaz Draycott. I'm delighted to have alongside me once again Peter MacKay. We've had a lot of fun so far this evening already, Peter. This circuit's just been incredible. Reverse grid now in this final one. It's going to be even better.
It will indeed. Of course, the late great Paul Newman said, "If there's a heaven on earth, it's VIR." And well, it's wiser words you will not find. Certainly not when you and I are in the commentary box.
Very, very true. All we do is just take the mick out of Audi drivers as a massive stereotype. Apologies if anybody was offended by that, by the way, but we're right. So
it does apply to BMW drivers as well. Let's be frank.
It does, especially if you have a new M4, because it's the most awful looking thing ever. And to be fair, if you're daft enough to go and actually spend money on one, then yeah.
That's when you actually thank them for tailgating you, because it'll sort of, if you're close enough, it'll hide the grille on it. Yeah,
that's true. That's very true indeed. We've had a lot of drivers out there tonight that may not have been in the limelight as much. Niles de Kuiper for Radion Motorsport by QSR. This car races in the virtual Bell Car E-Series as well. And Craig Schill, privateer for this championship, seems to not have the decal air applied, although I did fix it on his car earlier, so interesting. I'll have to fix that between rounds. He did tell me that his file was in there. We'll have to get that sorted. But it's now time for the third and final race of the night. So this is going to be an absolute corker for sure. Let's have a quick look at the grid. Jessica Myers ends up on pole position with Dan Mould alongside. Matthew Crisp and Miguel Freitas make a very enticing row 2. Lee Bowden, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do from there. Then you've got Mats Borg Anderson, Paul King, Chris Daines, Roman Bokler, Fraser Smith, Norbert Leitner, Damien Harris starting 12th. It's going to be an absolute belter to watch how these lot near the front of the grid get on in this one. To be fair, though, my money's on Dan Mould here, you know, Peter. He's proven to be very quick in the Sunday Drivers MX5 Cup. I reckon he's got this, you know. What do you think?
Well, if he can run your pace, Chaz, he must be good.
Oh, next. Right then, round 3 of the Simracersworld TCR Series from Virginia International Raceway is underway. Jessica Myers gets a good start from pole. Dan Mould covering Matthew Crisp straight away. Look further down the order for any shenanigans. We've had a bit of it before now, but seems like everybody behaving themselves. Let's go on good old Chopper Boy. See what mayhem occurs here. Oh, bit of it. Oh, double hit there between the two Ignium cars. Who was that? Was it Ben? No, it wasn't Ben Hicks at all. Ben managed to get away with it. Looked like some of them further down are still stopped. Jean-Louis Deschamps is off. Dean Timms, Rob Jackson. We've also got Craig Schill off the circuit back on. Oh, that was a big hit there on the back of the 85. Paul Godden headbutting. Oh, wow. They're just coming into shots sideways now. They're giving up going straight. But look at this. Fiercely forward 1-2 at the moment, Peter. Jessica Myers with a great start. Matthew Crisp now ahead of Dan Mould.
Yep, absolutely. The guys at the front, they've been able to get away relatively cleanly. And Jess Myers in the Corgi mobile, she's off like a shot.
Like a Corgi with a missile up its backside. Absolutely gone.
A Corgi that's been threatened with the visit of the hairdressers. Of course, they do grow. My best pal Duncan, his family had a family tri-coloured long-haired Corgi called Nipper. He was an absolute legend. And he lived to the ripe old age of 18. Would you believe?
Flipping out, that's a good age for a Corgi.
Yeah, he did. He was a trooper. Yeah.
Nipper the Trooper. Now, I must say, I really enjoy this livery on PJ Clayson's car. Team 11. Looks very nice indeed, nice and flowing. I like the spec map. The metallic certainly does look gorgeous. Who doesn't love a metallic spec map? Now look at this side by side at the moment with Naveed.
Oh, it's a spec map, don't scratch it!
I was thinking, flipping out, that's an overreaction. Now I totally understand. We've got Paul King with Roman Bokler just behind. Roman's trying to pop the pressure on straight away. Oh, a bit of a moment. Fraser Smith testing out the shocks on his Audi there as he went over the grass. really putting it through its paces. Louis Correa's gone off the circuit. Fast cars go bang. It seems like fast cars go on the grass at the moment. Manages to get back up to pace, but Jessica Myers, with just her teammate for company at the moment, Miguel Freitas over a second behind, and he's got to think about Dan Mould. So it's kicking off here at the front, because look at this train behind. This is awesome stuff, isn't it? Damien Owen Harris in there with Fraser Smith now as well. This is exactly what we wanted, and this is why circuits like this are very, very interesting when it comes to reverse grids, because like you said before, Peter, there's such a bottleneck, isn't there?
Indeed, yeah, there's a lot of places where it is just one line, and you know, you could have Sebastian Vettel in front of you, or behind you, sorry, and he wouldn't be able to get by. It's just, you've just got to be patient in certain places. A little bit like Road Atlanta in that kind of way, and that there's certain parts of the circuit where you can go for it, and others where you just have to take your medicine and wait for a corner or two. But I gotta say, what a great start to the race from Jessica Myers in the Cherry Cola Fiercely Forward Corgi Mobile, with her teammate in the Bumblebee spec paint job there. Matthew Crisp, of course, went off in race. Was it race 1 or race 2? God, you would think I would remember. It was only 10 minutes ago. Has been off so far this evening as they head down towards South Bend. Oh, side by side, a little bit of NASCAR side drafting there. Do you know that actually this VIR circuit, as Matthew Crisp goes to the lead, this VIR circuit very close to the village of, or the town of Danville, which was the hometown of Wendell Scott, the first and only African American to win a NASCAR race. Whoa!
Oh, that's Anders Lilly-Jordan just seeing how far he can get in terms of grassland before he hits trees, as Craig Shill's just gone off as well. Down the carousel, the roller coaster. Back on he goes. Michael Blake's off as well. Ben Hicks also off just in front. They're all testing it out at the moment. Chris does the fastest lap of the race. Freitas doing it now. Here is Miguel. He's turning it on now, isn't he? This is his moment to shine and try and get through. But you've got to think Jessica Myers is going to defend. Look at that from Dan Mould. It's very aggressive down the inside. I've always said that Dan drives very aggressively, and he's showing that I'm right here. He's certainly putting on a show, though, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. He's he's going to put his mould on the back of Miguel Freitas' back bumper there. But that's what touring car racing is all about. We see it a lot in the British Touring Car Championship. A little bit of bumping nudging is all part of the game. As whoa, Anton Dupan's off. Oh dear, come back in the circuit. Oh, well, we call him Anton Dupan Mr. Steady Eddie in the GT cars, but in the touring cars, it's we should call him Full Send Anton.
Indeed, he certainly is, giving it everything he's got. This is Dan Mould now. He can sniff an opportunity here with Miguel Freitas in front of him. Either that or he can smell the wine. Oh, Jessica runs wide. Dan encourages Miguel to get on with it, you could say. Through he goes, but look at this. He's just glued to the back of the cars in front. Certainly pushing hard. It's a bit of a check-up situation here, but this is allowing Matthew Crisp to get away. You've got Miguel Freitas chasing him down, but at the same time, he's been held up a bit by that battle that was going on. It was very, very feisty indeed.
Interesting that Damien Harris he's only just getting up to the fringes of the top 10 now. He started from 12th as the race 1 winner. It just shows you the depth of field. I would say we maybe got a slightly better depth of field than we did in the winter series. There's more potential protagonists at the front. It's going to make these race 3s very, very challenging for the championship frontrunners.
Yeah, definitely, and it's very difficult to overtake here at the best of times as well. But now, Damien smells an opportunity as well, but so too does Fraser Smith. He goes to the right, Damien goes to the right as well. A little bit of a blink in and out there by Paul King. Let's see what Fraser does with this. This will be interesting. See how Paul King reacts. Don't make it 3 wide, Fraser. Don't make it 3 wide, Fraser. Fraser touches the brakes. Oh, touches Damien Owen Harris, who touches Paul King. Damien's gone straight on. Oh, Paul didn't see the Tiege coming back down the inside. It's not been Damien's night, has it? He'll be fuming with that. I don't know whether there was a little bit of contact, you know. I think Fraser might have just given him the slightest of taps. If it was the tiniest of taps.
Possibly. I think there is. Yeah, I think if we run on board with Fraser, you might just see it could actually be a tight. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. There it is. You don't need much. That is where you're really leaning on the brakes properly hard. It's very easy to run on there. And that just needed a little bit. Of course, if a car gets a bump while braking, it just lifts it up a bit and you don't get anywhere near the braking performance. So, yeah, that's... I think that's 2 contacts between that pair so far this evening.
It's that Mia in the chat point. Bump draft, but without the draft. Poggers. Very true indeed.
Chaz, could you're a man who knows the sim racing world inside out. What on earth is Poggers? I have absolutely no idea what Poggers is.
Poggers is basically...
I feel like a granddad asking. But...
Poggers is basically like saying skills. Like, if something is Poggers, it's basically a skillful move or something that's gone well, basically. So it's like a sort of it's like a sarcastic sort of well done. There's a friend of mine, Josh Rayfield, who always says, you could say anything and he'll just hear this voice in the background just say, Pog. And it just shortens Poggers. Or if you've broken something, like I had my electrical issues with my PC, I'd keep telling him about it, and his only response would be, not Poggers. And that's all it is, basically. It's just, if something is good.
It's like Techers then, I suppose.
Yeah, like that. It's like Poggers. Poggers is like Tekker's cousin. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Right.
Twice removed.
Well, that's. I feel like there's been 10 brain cookies deleted there, but I've added 10 on top of them.
Oh, the cache has been deleted, has it?
But we've replaced it with something else. It's fine.
Some malware. A little bit of malware in Peter's head now. Now, someone that's going to be pretending they're a bit of malware is Roman Boakler trying to get past Mats Borg Anderson. It may have Sharebox written on it, but he doesn't want to share anything at the minute. And look at that from Fraser Smith down the inside of Norbert Leitner. Tries to chuck it in there. Doesn't quite work. They both lose a little bit of time. And that's the thing. You can really compromise the person that you're trying to overtake if it doesn't get pulled off cleanly straight away, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. It's you've got to try and keep that momentum up as much as you can. This is a real flow circuit here at VIR. And speaking of Miguel Freitas, this is the Miguel that we know and love, isn't it, Chaz? He's kind of just been a little bit quiet through the Winter Series and through the early stages of this race meeting, but now we've got the old Miguel back and he is on the charge.
He is indeed. Look at this from the Portuguese driver. All over it. But Damien Owen Harris, his teammate, Matthew Crisp, is certainly going to be on the defensive at the top of the hill. Look at the gap they've got, though. They can battle a little bit here. We're only halfway through the race, pretty much. So they can have a little bit of a dice here and there, but I think the wise thing would be to just maybe tone it down a little bit. Looked like there might have been a bit of contact there. Mats Borg Anderson. Roman Boakler's getting sick of looking at the back of that Sharebox car. Contact again. Matt's just running a little bit wide into him there. It's difficult to get it right. Look at that thing. I
think Roman Boakler's got damage. I think he's got big suspension damage or steering damage, but is he going to carry on? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I think he might have to let his teammate go here. That car's not 100%.
Another Charlie Cox quote, you couldn't kill it with a stick. Something else that's trying to go into the sticks is Ben Hicks, you could say. Oh, Daniele Giudici's gone off as well. Speaking of stickers, they're all over the place. Neil Stevenson's gone in the pits. He's got damage as well. It's all over the shop, isn't it? Everybody just chucking these cars at the scenery. Now, Miguel Freitas still on the attack here. And the problem that Matthew Crisp's got now is that he's going to find it really hard to break away with the slipstream round here. If Miguel is very, very close to him in this infield section without the straights, he's got it sorted by the time he gets there. We've got Flop Gear in the chat saying not Pog, which I agree. But at the moment, this top two battle is very enticing. 2.4 seconds over Jessica Myers in third.
Yeah, Jessica doing a great job there in third place. Started from pole, reverse grid pole, but holding on very, very well indeed there. And always good to, if you can start from pole and maintain it, it's that's what the reverse grids can be really helpful for. But I suspect up at the front, Chaz, I think Miguel Freitas is going to go by at the first possible opportunity he can create. And that might well be here coming into South Bend. They look very, very close together. Coming up into that section, and here we go then. Yep, it's side by side. Matthew Crisp versus Miguel Freitas. We know that this is really super tight in here. You've got to be... Oh. Matthew Crisp just about closes the door, goes for the cutback, and just hangs on by his fingernails there. And Miguel Freitas has to wait another lap.
Lee Bowden has got past his teammate as well. Lee Bowden now ahead of Dan Mould. Chris Danes in the middle of that. Roman Boakler and Norbert Leitner in there as well. Fantastic train of cars again here. We've had an issue, unfortunately, for Louis Correa. He's gone off the circuit at this point. He's fighting with PJ Claysons. Oh, he's not left the room. That's a big off, and that's going to be a big hit into something. How he missed those concrete... Well, they're not concrete. Oh, well, there's the invisible wall. And that, unfortunately, would have made him jump a lot. Now, Dan Mulder's gone off the circuit. Dan Mulder's gone off and lost places. What has happened here? Down at turn 1, maybe a bit of argy-bargy into the first corner, Peter. Oh, not with his teammate. Oh, he's just gone in well too hard. Oh, yeah, argy-bargy with his teammate. Aggressive again.
Well, as they say, that's the #1 rule. Don't hit your teammate, but and don't eat yellow snow.
Yes. It's not going to go down well, that, unfortunately, because he cost his teammate.
Both going to have an equally sour taste in the match.
Yes, I imagine so. Luckily, I've not experienced that, so I'm quite pleased.
Thankfully.
But it's obviously cost his teammate positions as well now. Chris Daines is up to 4th. Boakler's up to 5th. Bowden now down to 6th place. Jessica Myers got a bit of a breather then from having to defend. But Chris Daines is very, very quick indeed. But look at the top of your shot. Here are the race leaders side by side once again. Matthew Crisp on the inside. Freitas on the outside. Let's go to the good old chopper cam. You can see Freitas, once he's got out of the slipstream, he just doesn't have the run. Who's going to break earlier? Is it Freitas? It is. Just tucks it in. He's just playing it clever here at this point. Although, Crisp's gone deep. Side by side down the carousel. Freitas around the outside. He's going to have the inside when they get to the hog pen, although he's earlier on the brakes, and Crisp somehow holds on. That was fantastic commitment by Matthew Crisp. Fair play, sunshine.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
well done there from Matthew Crisp to keep Miguel Freitas at bay once more. And of course, every time that they go by there, it's just one less opportunity. As Jessica Myers also going on the heavy defensive there with Roman Buckler, dragging that really damaged car up towards the podium positions. Really impressive from the Frenchman, our race 1 winner. Brilliant stuff. I tell you what that reminded me of there, Chaz, on the chopper cam with Matthew Crisp and Miguel Freitas. Matthew Crisp is the guy in the middle lane in the motorway who never leaves the middle lane. And as you go to overtake, all of a sudden they just pile on 15 miles an hour. It's and then.
It's like they get scared.
That, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I've always wondered that, And for some reason, I've got a theme of it happening with Nissan Qashqais and Honda Jazz. There's always just somebody in the middle lane in a blue Honda Jazz, the SX version or whatever it's called, the SI I think it is, with a dented door and both the both the sun visor things down, even though it's dark. But they're somehow doing 60 in the middle lane, and as soon as you get near them, they do 95 for about 100 yards. It's just part of motorway etiquette, I think. I think there's something on the dash saying, speed up now, there's a car. It's like one of the anti-radar things. Anyway.
It's like, speed up or you won't be able to live with the shame.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't go through the shame of owning a Nissan Qashqai anyway, but still.
Me neither.
Never mind the Duke.
An SUV, full stop.
Yeah.
I think SUVs should be banned. I think they're hideous contraptions.
Or just any crossover as well. There's
Oh,
my friend Tom
God.
Jacobs, who I'll give a quick shout out to. It's literally like his entire Facebook profile is just a campaign to stop crossovers. It's just fantastic.
Fantastic. Where do I sign?
Now look at this, down the inside goes Buckler. Oh, Jessica Myers gets a hit off Chris Daines as well. I think there was a little bit of contact on the way in as well. But good stuff from the pair of them to continue on. Let's have another look again. So you can see Jessica making sure that Buckler has to use all of the road. Oh, the curb again, causing a little bit of contact. To be fair, Daines actually sneaks up the inside there. Jessica closes the door and says no thank you. Although Buckler and Daines both in the pits.
Do you think they've maybe... Now, is there an incident point limit?
I think there is.
Chaz, where they have to come for a stop and go. I think that might be what have been triggered there, because there's been plenty of contact in this race, as is always the case in the reverse grid race 3. But Jessica Myers, just proper tenacity here, is saying, if you want to go through, you're gonna have to walk through me, because I'm holding this position for dear life. Brilliant stuff. Hopefully it doesn't end in tears. Let's hope not. But Norbert Leitner piling up behind in 4th. Fraser Smith in 5th. But still, Matthew Crisp somehow keeps Miguel Freitas behind.
Yeah, he's doing a wonderful job at leading this race so fiercely forward. Really is. Look at them through the S. It's just... I mean, when I'm driving that car, it doesn't feel like it has anywhere near the direction change that it does when these guys are driving away from us like that. Norbert Leitner now behind Jessica Myers. Like you said, Fraser 5th in Smith. Just holding off for him making a move at this point in time, but if he gets a good run out of here now, you've got to think the double slipstream will be good, but Norbert Leitner holds it up nicely on the apex. We've got Bod Boland in the YouTube chat a bit unhappy with the standards at the minute. Apparently people racing without spotters, that's a sin. Now look at this. Very lively stuff, up towards South Bend again.
Yeah, I was thinking when they came out that, oh, bump draft, bump draft, bump draft. Oh, actually.
Oh,
no.
Oh, no.
Bad.
Jessica Myers has gone fiercely forward off the track.
Hold on.
Oh, Eds.
Wow.
Oh, no. Oh, doing it. Oh, no. Jessica, no. Oh, it was entertaining as you like, but unfortunately that's the end of a race, I think, or the end of a competitive charge near the front in that race. Such a shame.
Would you say that that was maybe there's bump drafting in the braking zone there, perhaps? What do we think?
No, it's that touch there. That touch from Roman. Jessica just ran a little bit wide at the top of the hill.
It was in the post at that point. Ready, rallycross, way. Oh.
Well, it was entertaining all the same, Jessica. We've got to give you that, but unfortunately we know that that is very frustrating indeed. Now, Matthew Crisp has actually won the race here, apparently. Apparently he's already crossed the line. 18 minutes and 48 seconds, though. Surely not. Yeah. Surely not. Excuse me a second, everybody, while I click in the sim. No such checkered flag or anything.
They are racing, that's for sure. This is a hell of a cool-down lap if it's a cool-down lap.
I was going to say it's more of a warm-up lap at the end of the race, isn't it? But still, we ignore the flag that SDK has decided to show us.
It's in the air.
Yeah.
Barney will have a sore arm by the time he's by the time they reach the start-finish line.
They will indeed. He'll be absolutely shattered. But now, at the front though, it will be the last lap, of course. So this is the last chance that Miguel Freitas is going to get. He's going to try and go around the outside, late on the brakes, to tuck it down the inside for the right-hander. He's got good overspeed this time. What can Matthew Crisp do? Look at him. He's making sure he's definitely on the outside. Miguel's a bit later on the brakes. Oh, no, there's contact. Miguel had to turn in. I think, again, it's just the car on the inside running wide. Always managed to keep it going the right way. I kind of hope that Miguel doesn't take the place, although it doesn't seem that he cares. Oh, he's gone hot in the last corner, though. Is Crisp going to get the run?
No, he's letting him on purpose.
Yeah. There you go. He's letting him by, is he? Is he letting him by? Is Matthew Crisp going to take the win? I'm not sure. It's like Barrichello and Schumacher at Indianapolis, but Matthew Crisp takes the win. Good sportsmanship by Freitas. Fraser Smith third ahead of Leitner. Borg Anderson fifth. Look at Mark Woodhouse. Sixth place, 23 places gained. Naveed Hussein is, wow, that's an off. But, honestly, what a circuit VIR has been tonight. This has been insane. Scott Malcolm, 20 places gained from 35th. Ryan Walker, 21 places gained from, well, would that have been 37th and last on the grid. So 16th for him in the end. Brilliant result. You have to feel for some of the drivers caught up in the incidents there, though. But what a phenomenal evening of racing we've had, Peter. That has been so entertaining.
It's been fantastic. It's great to be back here in the Simracersworld TCR Series, and great to see a real cast of, well, 6, maybe even 8 drivers who've all got a realistic chance at this championship, and it's going to be great going across 10 different circuits as well. Lots of different opportunities, and I tell you what, when I saw VIR on the calendar, I was just so excited because we don't get to race at it very often. We don't get to call races at it very often, but one of my favorite circuits anywhere, both to drive and to talk about. There's obviously so much heritage with the circuit, so yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, and what a way to start the season.
Indeed, it's been absolutely mega. We've still got some drivers just finishing the race. Unfortunately, after having to pit earlier, Chris Daines is just finishing the race, although he's going to do it in the pit lane. Jean-Louis Deschamps is also just finishing as well on his 10th lap of the race. Although, actually, no, now that Chris Daines is in the pits, that is the final results, it seems. So there are the feature race results. Peter, if you'd like to do the honours, my friend.
I shall indeed. So Matthew Crisp Your winner then by 0.2 of a second from Miguel Freitas. A brilliant job from the fiercely forward driver to keep Miguel Freitas at bay. Fraser Smith got up onto the podium in third, followed by Norbert Leitner and Mats Borg Anderson. Mark Woodhouse tearing through the pack, finished 6th. Navid Hussain was 7th, Lee Bowden 8th, Dan Mould 9th, and Bram Clays was 10th. Michael Blake finished in 11th, followed by Niels de Kuiper, Anders Lilliorde, Anton Dupin, Scott Malcolm, Ryan Walker, Paul King, and Daniele Guidici. In 19th place was Ben Hicks, followed by Craig Schill, Danny Fenning, Neil Stevenson, Paul Godden, Matthias de Tige, Ashley Gaffal, Jurgen Knocker, Jessica Myers, unfortunately just taken out very late on in the race from the podium spots. John Lees Deschamps was 28th, followed by Chris Danes, Roman Buckler, Dean Timms, PJ Clessons, Louis Correa, Damian Harris, Bod Boland, Wayne Palmer, and Rob Jackson. Some big names at the bottom of the order there, Chaz, and some points gone begging there.
Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting one because some of the major players that we thought we'd have... Oh, there's an advert for the Jetta TDI Cup. Look at that. Love that. But
good,
yeah,
clean fun.
Oh, well, it's what the people want, but it's not what we give them, is it? It's been an interesting one like that because certain drivers, like you say, they may have had a bad race at some point, but they've shown just how quickly they can turn it around. And to be fair, if we can see drivers overtaking as well as they have around a circuit like this tonight, it's just showing what an amazing season we're in for. We're going to see so many brilliant turnarounds over the course of this season, and I'm very, very intrigued to see how it all goes. We do have our first interview of the season with our eventual race winner, Matthew Crisp. Matthew, welcome to the booth, my friend. That was certainly one you had to work hard for there with Miguel behind you.
Oh, I'm still shaking off that, to be honest. I don't really know what to say, but GG for Miguel there for giving that position back, because not many people, I'm sure, would have done.
Yeah,
I mean, I would have probably done the same thing, to be honest. I would have fought it right to death, but yeah, I don't even know what to say.
It just seemed like no matter what he did down that back straight, you just knew where to put the car. And I mean, we've seen quite a lot of incidents up there tonight. Obviously, the curb on the inside does push cars out wide, so that then points them at the apex. So if you are too wide, there is a lot of contact. Did you feel that it was always going to end in an incident, or did you think that you both had it under pretty good control?
Well, race one time with the outside, not a good place to be. So
Yeah, true.
I kind of learned that. So yeah, I just defended the inside. Of course, there was one moment where he did manage to keep level with me for those last couple of corners. But yeah, such an amazing race between us two. I don't think there's probably definitely up there one of the best battles I've had of all the years I've been doing sim race.
I was going to say, there was one time where you were coming back down the carousel and he managed to somehow put it round the outside, and you gave him all the room that he needed, and it was wonderful side-by-side stuff. But it was just the fact that this narrow circuit, I mean, drivers like yourself, coming through from a little bit further down, you proved that you can overtake round here, although you wouldn't think it, would you? It's so narrow.
Well, I'd never raced this track. I've never driven it apart until
Flipping heck.
until a couple of days ago. So I literally learned it, and yeah, in a couple of days, yeah, there was one point where I honestly didn't think I was even going to be in the top 20 in qualifying, and yeah, somehow just chips away at it. But yeah, there was clearly a lot of people who hadn't raced this before, a lot of different lines out there, and even during the races I was learning things about lines people were taking. So yeah,
It's certainly
on to the next one.
Yeah, indeed. It certainly looked like a lot of fun, mate, and I was very, very jealous of watching you boys get in amongst it, because it certainly seemed like a right old laugh. Now, of course, next time round, we go to the mountain. We're going to Bathurst. What do you make of getting these cars around there?
Yeah, I've done it in when the official series come there. It's a brilliant track in any car you drive. So yeah, TCRs will be a lot of fun, a lot of close racing again.
Well, we hope that it goes well for you. Well done again on the win this evening, mate. And we look forward to, of course, seeing you at the next one.
Yeah, see you guys next week.
Cheers, buddy. And we'll follow that up with a gentleman that gave us probably one of the best interviews of last season, to be fair. Scott Malcolm joins us in the box. Scott, you just seem to, once again, always be in the action in that midfield. It's a bit of a war zone, isn't it?
I wasn't expecting to get pulled up. You just caught me unawares. Aye, yeah, it's I don't know how to put it, but it's can be fun,
Yeah.
to put it politely.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's always a lot going on, a bit of argy-bargy here and there, but, you had some strong results come out of it. You gained quite a few positions in each of them. I mean, 20 places gained in that one. That was a mega drive, wasn't it?
Yeah, I kind of surprised myself with that one. But I was just drove my own race there, and there's people going off, and I just kept going and just got freebies.
Indeed. Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Survival, as I was saying very early on in the broadcast. Surviving those first few laps, getting through a little bit of the bottlenecks that go on around here is so important. And, of course, we're going to get more of that at the next round when we go to Mount Panorama, Bathurst itself. What do you make of that circuit? Is it one you enjoy?
Do you know, actually, it's kind of, I don't know if it's a weird way, but I kind of like it. Because you just know it's going to, something's going to happen. And that's just what I love about that track.
Yeah, it sort of brings up drama of its own, doesn't it? But either way, it's going to be another exciting round of the championship. Great to have you on track again for this season once again. And, of course, good to speak to you so early on in the season this time. Is there anybody you would like to give a shout-out to before you go?
Well, it's just got to be the Simracersworld guys for organising this series. Obviously you and Pete for doing the commentary, and Team Mad for giving me the coaching in this car.
Mega stuff. Well, good to speak to you, Scott. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you at Bathurst, mate.
Right, see you later, guys.
Cheers. Awesome stuff. Always good to speak to Scott. I've been racing with him for a very, very long time now on iRacing, and he's always one of those drivers that seems to be improving and just getting on with the job. And we'll round out our evening with a chat with Flashy McGee himself, who had to really restrain himself this evening, I imagine. Fraser Smith joining us in the box. Fraser, again, mate, fantastic pole position, but you were always in the thick of the action.
Yeah, that was not good at the start of race one. I've recently got new pedals. That's my race driver excuse. So I didn't do any practice starts as such, and I just absolutely bottled it. So yeah.
Certainly looked like a lot of fun around here. You had some very good drives through the field, and especially against the quality of drivers that we get inside that sort of top 10, top 15. You must be pretty confident going forward for the rest of the season now that you can keep up with them.
Yeah, I reckon so. It's a shame quarantine and Bram left, because that'd be good to see, but never mind. It was, yeah, I think I overheard you guys saying that there's 6 or 7 people that could win it, and I would definitely agree, which is great.
Yeah, that's what we want, and obviously with the reverse grids as well, that a lot of you are so equal on pace in certain sectors that when it comes to flipping it the other way round, it's just such an interesting dynamic, because some guys, as you know, can push forward a lot more urgently than others. Other drivers chip away at it. Some of them get the jump early on and then run away. So the dynamic is very intriguing to watch. Is there anybody that you feel could be a definite title challenger this season, or have you not quite got your eye in with that yet?
I'll keep my cards close to my chest with that one.
Fair play, good choice. Well, before we let you go, mate, I wanted to ask, of course, Bathurst next week. Is that one you're looking forward to, or is that one you're dreading?
Oh, that's one of the best, definitely. I haven't driven it in a long time, but how hard can it be, right?
Well, famous last words, mate, famous last words. But before we let you go, are you going to give anybody a shout out this evening?
Yeah, everyone behind the league, especially Bart. I know he's had a nightmare this week with everyone's requests and whatnot. It must be
me with my
hard
decal
work.
days. Love you, Bart.
Yeah, everyone who I was racing against, they were great. I got in a few scraps, but it's going to happen on this track, I think. So, yeah, and a few of my mates are watching. I don't know exactly who, but I know Jody, Dom, and a couple other people. So, shout out to them. And Full Sem Racing, obviously.
Smashing stuff. Great to speak to you as always, Fraser. Thank you for joining us, mate, and we'll see you at Bathurst.
All right, then. Take care.
Cheers. Well, Peter, we've got a flight to catch to get to Australia, mate, but that's bound to be a very, very entertaining race meeting, isn't it?
Oh, well, we of course, we're both fans of the Super Touring era, and who could forget when Bathurst, was was really, it was a super touring race. We saw Rickard Rydell and Dave Richter's going there, and in the Volvo S40, and there was all kinds of different cars there. And Bath, if you love motorsport, you love Bathurst, and touring the SRW TCR there is going to be absolutely superb, and I can't wait.
It really is going to be a lot of fun. That has been the first 3 rounds of Season 3 in the Simracersworld TCR Series. Thank you very much to everybody for putting the league on. Thank you, of course, to Simracersworld TV as well. And, of course, my wonderful co-commentator, Peter MacKay. My name is Chaz Draycott. It's been a hell of an evening, and we'll see you in a week's time at Bathurst. Have a good night.